Hello, hello, hello. Here we are again for the afternoon part of the summit, the third Global Empowerment Summit. And Nishith is here with us already in the studio. Super happy to have you. And I know that you are in a very specific place doing some nice retreats and then trainings. And it's just so exciting to see you all in your working place. Last time, Andreas Dorn was also tuning in from the middle of the training in the lunch break. So
Yeah.
it seems we are all very, very active. So Nishit, how are you? And tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, I'm amazing. I'm at this amazing place in Switzerland, so really happy. Uh, I, yeah, I'm really excited to be here. Specifically to tell you a little bit about myself. I work with NLP. I'm an NLP master trainer. I've been doing and running NLP programs for about 16 years now. I mainly focus on modeling and experiential programs. I've spent a lot of time modeling myself. So I've spent so many years modeling the monks in the Himalayas, about 8 years to be precise. I've modeled some of the local tribes in Brazil. I'm here. We usually model base jumpers. There was a specific base jumper that we modeled in Switzerland. And then from those experiences, I run retreat in all of those places. And yeah.
It's exciting because you are also specialized in specific retreats like Switzerland. And I know that last time, not so long ago, you were in Goa. And
Yes.
these are so beautiful experiences for people to just go a little bit, get out of the hamster wheel and just relax and to know more about themselves and about others and understand a little bit more how the world works.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
So why did you started retreats? Because it seems to be some kind of one of your focus. So why do you think that it's so important, and what do you like about it?
I started retreat mainly initially because I really enjoyed NLP training, but a lot of the training happened in the hotel room and conference room, and I didn't really enjoy that part of it. So I'm spending so much more time in the hotel rooms, whereas I like to be in nature. The second thing that happened is that it's about the same time, maybe 11 or 12 years back, I started mountaineering. And so when I started mountaineering, I noticed that every time I would go and climb a mountain, I would feel like, I won't be able to do this. This is too difficult. This is challenging. And pretty much always I ended up doing it. So to me, that was always an experience of, I am, it's one of the things that we're speaking about today that at first I didn't trust myself. And at first I thought that I didn't have the capacity to do this. But then that's the thing about human potential, that sometimes we have a tendency to undermine our potential and undermine ourselves. And so eventually the learning that I got from my climbing experiences is that as humans we are always more capable than we think we are. And so I went like, this is such an empowering, and this is a real time application of that belief. And if I can give that experience to people through my programs, and that's a win for me because I would love it. And so that means, and I'm like, yeah, why don't I just move my training programs from the hotel rooms to the retreat outside and have these experiences to give people, uh, that belief that they are always more than they think they are, and help them live at their best and their full potential.
And I think that's also making it a little bit, because everyone says that when you are working on yourself, when you are alone doing it without a mentor, sometimes you are not seeing things that you other people could see. And if you go to a retreat like this out of your normal environment, I guess it's the same, that it's taking you out of the usual, so you will recognize more things.
Yeah, absolutely. And often when you're in your usual environment, there are the usual patterns and triggers. So what tends to happen is that, okay, we've done really good work throughout the day, but then you go back home and you have the same triggers and you go back to the same patterns. Whereas you come out of an environment and you're immersed in it, then the change and transformation, in my opinion, is more sustainable and generative. That doesn't mean that it can't be possible otherwise as well, because I feel, I mean, I also run online programs where people are actually at home and being part of it, but it just requires a different type of skills.
Yeah, it's very different, and I love it. It's a fresh idea. It takes a lot of work, I guess, to put it together, and people have to be really committed to be there, which is also a good thing, right? Because if they already travel to Switzerland or go out to do a retreat, then it means they are already on board. So you don't have to start with convincing them, oh, come on board, because they
Yeah,
are all in, right?
exactly,
It's
exactly. Yeah.
perfect. So you have a lot of people tuning in. We have Mina. Mina is saying she's following you on LinkedIn and she really loves the way you are going around the world as part of your programs. Andrea is here to support you. Ambrin is here also, and Lalita is tuning in. So thank you guys for watching. And for your topic today, which we were talking about stepping into trust for yourself, and then there is a second part, but it didn't fit the fit my banner. So
Yeah.
explain a little bit about this topic. What does it mean for you, and what would you like to talk about today?
Yeah. So one of the things that I've explored over a period of time is, I mean, two things actually. So I think most people in world have a vision, some sort of. It doesn't have to be granular, big vision, but they have something, some experience of life that they want to have. The second thing about this is that most people think about things in a specific sequence. So often they go like, I need to see the evidence or a result on the outside for me to know that yes, my vision is possible, or I'm living my vision, or I can get to my vision. And which means that that trust in their selves and their own ideas and their own thoughts come from external sort of evidence, and which is important. Absolutely, I'm not saying that let's not look at what happens on the outside. It's really important, but I feel that that's where a lot of people struggle to have that trust in their own thoughts, because I think sometimes, like I said, as humans, we we come up with brilliant ideas and we have this amazing thoughts, and then almost the next thing goes like, but would it be possible? Can I do this? No, maybe it's too much for me to do. And then the doubt starts coming in for your own capabilities and for your own identity and what's possible, what's not possible, and so on. And so one of the most important thing that I learned from my journey is to switch that order and to switch that sequence, because I think the external evidence comes from you trusting yourself first. Uh, and this is something I learned in two ways. One, because a lot of times, uh, for example, building the retreat in Himalayas, nothing like that was ever done before. So I had no idea what was gonna what was gonna happen. I had no idea how people are gonna respond, and will the learning happen and all of that. And then because it was so important to me, I had to consciously trust myself and step into it. And when I did that, it automatically happened. And then I started learning that when I have a vision, it's really important for me to first step into that trust, and then the vision sort of follows. The same thing also, since I'm in Switzerland, it really works out, because that's what I learned also with base jumpers, because they literally just jump off the cliff. And it's not that they're not scared, but they have that trust that the parachute's going to open and it's going to take care of them. And so to me, that's such an important skill and important way of looking at life. Often trust is associated with evidence on the outside, but that's the thing about trust. That trust means that you don't have the evidence and still go like, yes, I'm going to do this and I'm going to be part of this. Yeah,
And you don't even have always the evidence. I mean,
should
I
do.
guess when you
Nah,
first started that also, because no one ever did it before, there you had no evidence that it will work, but
no.
we just still jump, we just still try, because who knows? I mean, that's life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I feel that there are several ways of looking at this that has helped me, several strategies, if I may say that. Uh, One is jumping into my yeah,
From training.
Andreas.
No parachutes.
No parachute. Yeah, good. Yeah. Uh, so one of the most amazing strategies that has worked for me in NLP, we call this running a tote, which in a simple terms, just means that often people, or I did that, I didn't take action till I had the evidence and that confidence and that trust in myself, because I wasn't sure if this was going to work. And I had to be like, like sure in my mind. And that surety came from the evidence on the outside. But as soon as I step into trust, automatically action takes place. But the strategy and the idea that has worked for me is that it's one, working with the belief that it's okay to not get it right, or it's okay if I get 80% right. I don't have to get everything exactly right. Second thought, it is okay to fail as long as I'm able to adjust and learn from it really quickly. And so I feel that the moment you start operating from that belief that it's okay to fail, and as long as you are able to learn from it and do something different the next time, then this trust automatically starts building in, because then you go like, I trust myself. If it doesn't work, I'm resourceful enough to shift it, mold it, change it in a way that it works. And that has been a huge help for me.
And I think that's also important to know that not everyone has the same capability of awareness or being aware all the time. So it all starts with the work to be aware,
Yes.
to find someone who triggers this awareness. And this is an interesting part that we were talking about. So who is starting this awareness? How does it start? Does it have to be because someone is pushing someone into awareness, or an event or something happening around you, or it's just only strictly when the person is ready, then we can strengthen that awareness? So how does it work?
I mean, that's a really great question, and I think it's not this or that. I would assume it's both. I think one part of it is that often when people start this journey of awareness, then uh, there are external triggers. It could be the environment, or someone's pushing it, or someone's bringing that awareness. But once you start embodying that way of living, then I think it becomes who you are. And then it becomes, it's sort of like I love to give this example of learning how to drive a car, because initially you need that conscious practice of driving the car, but once it's embodied, then it's part of who you are. Then you don't even have to think about it. It's just something that naturally happens. And it's the same thing then, once you practice that, of creating that awareness for yourself, uh, and then it becomes embodied, then it just becomes who you are, and you naturally do that, and you naturally think about it and learn from it and bring new patterns and see things outside of your own comfort zone. It just happens.
So true. I'm laughing because I even put it in the comments. Angela was just doing a habit session this morning, and she was
Yeah,
talking about the routines and how the little habits are putting it together. And she was mentioning
yeah.
it's like driving a car, because when
Well,
you drive a car, first you would have to pay attention on everything, and then when you already know how to do it, you really don't have to, and your mind gets into this automated aware mode, and only interacts or only comes into the picture when something unusual happens around you, right?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah,
So
yeah.
stepping into trust, I think there is one important word next to stepping or jumping, no matter how we are calling it. We will talk also about this intensity, but the trust, I think the trust is a very important word in your title. How can people trust themselves or love themselves enough, as Andrea would say? What is this trust, and where is it coming from? Where is it rooted?
Um, so from so there are three things that I can think about. Let's answer the question plus, what is trust? Right. So how do I define trust? I mean, I have my own definition. I'm sure there are so many other definitions. So for me, trust is something that I experience even when I don't have the evidence. It could be an action. So a simple action could be, the other day I was doing a post on LinkedIn, and I didn't trust I didn't know the response to that post on LinkedIn. I didn't know. what was going to happen or how are people going to respond to that. But that's where trust plays in, right? That when I don't have the evidence and yet I take that action, then I'm trusting myself. And so one of the ways, this is an activity and exercise that could be there for people to sort of just practice
Mm-hmm.
developing this trust is, in a day, do 5 things, take 5 actions where you experience trust. So in a way that you don't have an evidence of external results, where you don't know how things are going to go, you don't know what's going to happen, you don't know how people are going to respond, and in spite of that, take that action. It doesn't have to be, again, anything massive. It could be as simple as doing a LinkedIn post. That was for me. Or sending out an email that I haven't sent out for a long time because I just wasn't sure how that person's going to respond, or what's going to outmit, or to make a request that I've never made because I always thought, oh, the person's never going to agree to this. So these are all sort of small actions what you could do to just develop that pattern and strategy of trust. And then what happens is that your mind sort of starts getting conditioned to the idea that I don't need external evidence. And then you can start building on those. So actions are an easy way to start, but then it can translate into your own thoughts, because then you start trusting your thoughts more. And then it can translate into behaviors. Then you start trusting your own behaviors, and it can translate into ideas, because I'm sure that I've so many times I felt like, oh, I've had such genius ideas, and then I didn't execute them because I thought, oh, yeah, I don't know if I have enough resources. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if it's possible for me. And then I didn't do it. And then 6 months down the line, I saw someone else doing that, and it worked out so well. And I'm like, shit, I should have done that.
I could have been the first.
Yeah, I could have been the first. And so I feel like all of us have this amazing capacity of creativity, and amazing capacity of coming up with ideas, and having that little bit of trust in that will kind of have a trickle effect into the world, because people will start creating so many things that hasn't happened or wouldn't happen otherwise. And then it can trickle down into your identity, which is where I feel I strive to go to. That just trust becomes part of who I am, and then I trust myself and trust the system and my surroundings and trust the people around me, and in a way trust the universe. That's where we go.
And then the next thing that we were exploring this weekend with many people, Anjali and all the people were talking about, you don't have to like push yourself too much. Everyone's purpose is different. We know that we were talking about Maslow's pyramid, that you have the the biggest need is being significant, but then when you see yourself in the universe, how small you are, then you start to question, like, is it really significance that we are searching for? I mean, because we are still so small. So it's not the big significance or the big importance, it's those small things that matter. So it just puts it into a right context, right? That doesn't matter how you start, just start a little bit and then build up these habits to lead there, and then slowly the trust builds up and it will reconfirm your actions, and then you become more confident, and then more and more the more you do it, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's why I said that just taking 5 small actions each day, because see, your mind will build pattern either ways. You take big action or you take small action, your mind is gonna build patterns either way. Smaller actions are easier to do, so you could start with that and take five, 6 smaller actions. But the other part of this is also, uh, I'm gonna share this in the most precise way as possible. I learned this. I think I learned this from. I don't fully remember. It could be Deepak Chopra or someone else. I apologize for that. I don't remember that. But one of the significant thing that I learned is this metaphor, that the way the world is built. So it's a very spiritual metaphor, but it really connects with me. And one of the things that again, I don't know who shared, but someone shared that the way the world is built is in circles. So in a way, let's say a tree, it comes out of or a plant or a tree comes out of seeds, and so which means a small seed has the information of the whole tree, and then tree builds those seeds to kind of have the information of the plant. And so the metaphor that they used was that eventually we all contain information of the whole part of the system that we are in. And so if a seed contains information of the whole tree, and if we were to think about us as those seeds, then what do we contain the information of? And I mean, the obviously logical answer is that we contain the information of the whole system that we are in, which is the universe. And to me, that was such a powerful thing, very spiritual, but also very powerful, that if I operate from the place that I have all the resources, which is fundamental belief of NLP as well, but I also have the information of universe within me, and in other terms, in spiritual terms, I have the universe within me, then we are not so small in front of the universe, are we?
Yeah, it's very spiritual, it's very deep thought, and it reminds me or brings out up the thought also that if we are part of it and we contain some of it, some important part of it, then it's kind of like our responsibility also to give this back to the universe, because without that
Yes.
little thing that we have, the universe would be less. So
Yes.
it's a quite nice
Absolutely.
metaphor, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, beautiful share. Andrea also loves it, and Sharmi
Yeah.
saying hi. So everyone
Shana.
is here and watching you. I love your voice. I mean, I got so calm. I became so calm in the last 20 minutes. I don't know how the audience feels, but I'm just like, okay. Every time I go, I have to call Nishith when I'm like in this hype state.
Yeah.
So nice. So get
Okay.
back to the title and the intensity, because I think that's also important thing to talk about. Like we talk about jump, and then we can also talk about step, and we can
Yes.
talk about slow and fast. And the
Yeah.
thing is like, which one is better, or is one of them better?
I would say, no, I mean, I don't think any is better. It will completely depend on how people, like some people love to jump into it and go like, okay, this is me and this is who I am, and I'm going to test this out and that works. And for a lot of other people, it'll be like, okay, take that smaller steps into it. Uh, the way I would like to describe it is like reading a book. You know how some
Mhm.
people love to read a chapter and then implement it and then go to next chapter and implement it and then go to next chapter. And then others go like, I will read the whole book and then see what happens and pick from it. So whatever your style is and whatever works for you.
Mhm. Okay, so let's decide, everyone personally who would like to do this kind of jump or step, decide which one is yours and what is really resonating with you, and then start your trust journey with the little steps of the 5 things that is creating that trust, or reconfirms your trust. And then I'm also thinking about the benefits. Like, okay, we know that it can happen, we can work on it, but why would we do that? What are the benefits on the other side, to show people why is it worth it to step into this trust?
I mean, uh,
Maybe you have seen some people who went through it, or you yourself felt differently on the other side, and it's good to explain your experience to help the people to know, okay, I do this, it's a hard work, but what can I get if I do all this work?
yeah. I mean, to me, it's an important ingredient to bring anything to life. It could be a vision, an idea, a newness, innovation, collaboration. And I feel without that, there's a lot more resistance, and there is a lot more holding back and often giving up. And so, if we specifically think about benefits, I feel that one is personally for self. It's you would be much more in line with your vision, and you would be much more in line with who you are, and you would be reconnected to yourself and your surrounding. I think you will be able to bring much more to life. If you talk about the small chunk thing, you could be a lot more productive because you will be able to take quick actions and you'll be able to build things and build teams and work with things. So those are some of the small chunk benefit. But I think yeah, it's just about doing a lot and bringing a lot more to life.
Doing more, having more, enjoying more, being more fulfilled. I think it's also personal because I'm listening to or reading the comments, and we see that okay, Andrea is loving the metaphor. Ambreen is enjoying the conversation, and then here comes Andrea says it's peace of mind at the other side. And then we have Ambreen, to me, believe in ourselves aligns our mind, body, and soul. We achieve harmony. So yeah, it can be harmony. I would definitely say on my side that it creates an eternal drive. That's what I would say. When you are doing all this that you love, and you just don't stop fighting for it, and you are always in the flow, which is kind of like a
Yes.
very special experience, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I experienced that from you when you're running this for, like you spoke about. It's a mammoth of task or mammoth of experience and contribution that you're creating for everyone in the world. And I see you being in that flow the moment it, I mean, even before that, but specifically for a moment it starts. And there's such a level of trust and confidence that you have. And that's an example for me of what we're speaking about. I mean, you are an example of that.
Trust in the universe and the internet.
And the,
And
and the
I'm
internet.
really love because yesterday we had a conversation and we had supposed to have a panel discussion, but the internet and the universe was saying it will be the two of us
Yeah.
talking and the two of them typing. So that's trust. But you can find a
That's
solution. And I think that's also something that there is the stepping, there is the trust, but then there is also trusting the process that you will find a solution to ignite and take out that creativity and bring that forward and
yeah.
use it, right? Because that's why we
Yeah.
have it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, other day I was having a conversation with someone who works with ESG team, and specifically on creating sustainability in organizations. And it was such an amazing experience because this was one of the conversations that came up that a lot of organizations tend to take more action towards environment when they trusted that change is possible, versus the organization who believe that it's all, yeah, nothing can happen and solution isn't there and this is all it is and this is how it is. Then yeah, then the actions were less. And so in a way, even if you think about the planet and what's going on, I feel like if a lot of us focuses on trust, then that we can
Trusting
create
that
that
there will
change.
be something. And that can be a danger of trust, right? I mean, trusting only and not doing actions on a way, it's also something that, okay, someone will solve it for me. So on my side, when I talk about what I do and my summit and all these things, I trust the process, but I trust myself, but I also trust my mind and my
Yes.
capabilities that I will find a solution. And I don't find a solution next year. I have to find that solution right now, because if I
Yes.
don't find it, the messages, the work is not going out, the empowerment is not
Yes.
happening. So this is something that is the next step, that, okay, build your trust, trust in the universe or trust in yourself, but don't forget that then
No.
it's still the work. It's there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the next step, definitely. Because, I mean, we can have the trust and we can feel like we're the universe and then just sit on our asses and do nothing. Then, nothing.
Yeah, you correctly said it. And
Yeah.
it is so nice. I love your authenticity, and it's just so nice to talk to you. When others are saying that
Yeah.
the conversation is so good. Well, the conversation is always good when there is a harmony and the dynamism, and there is a vibration and there is a connection. And I think that's also part of your message here. Like, okay, step into your trust, do what you need to do to get where you want to be, but also don't just do it alone. You can do it in a community, you can do it in retreats, you can find your way with a mentor, with the help of someone like you, right?
Yeah. 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 Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I just generally would say that it will make everything easier, even taking action once you operate from trust.
Yeah, the supporting group also. I mean, yesterday I think it was Afzam was saying that belonging makes a difference. The sense of belonging and this supportive group, like
Yes.
why CrossFit is working, right?
Yeah.
Because people go together, they meet at the gym and they do that, and they show up every single morning 5-6 a.m. and they do those exercises, and they tell each other, okay, you didn't do it, you will do that. So
Yeah.
the accountability comes into the picture.
Yes. Yeah, I think that's what the community like this that you build over the years is such a important part of living, to be, yeah, to be amongst people who are there to support. And I mean, uh, CrossFit is such a great example, because I know that I've stepped into this many times where I feel I won't even exercise till I know that my body's gonna be fit.
And then you see the people, and then I'm like, oh, I want to be okay, I will do that. I will look like you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
nice. It's nice. Thank you so much for this talk. I see Say Babs is also already in the stream in the studio,
Yeah.
so I will bring him up. It was a nice conversation. Thank you so much. I know it's so early, guys. He woke up like 7 a.m. just to do this talk. And he is
Yeah.
already working in his retreat. So thank you so much, Nishith, for doing this for us. And I believe we will have beautiful things in the future also together. Keep on inspiring, keep on helping people to find that trust. And yeah, I wish you a beautiful day ahead.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for having me here again. And it was such an amazing, profound conversation. Thank you so much, Andy.
Thank you for being you and then being here. Thank you so much. Bye, Nishith.
All right. Bye. Thank you.
All right, switching speakers. And in the meantime, I would say that today we have one more interview, the next one coming up with Mr. Babaola or Seji Babs. And then after that, we will have the master class with Wasim and Michael about digital wealth creation, which is something important today. They are specialists in this. And then later on, we have an exciting things coming up. I will bring up Seji just to be with me so that I don't feel so lonely. Hi. So we will have a metaverse experience. We will go and network in the metaverse. So we have been offered by MetaHub from Jamie, one of our speakers, a GES metaverse networking room. So guys, if you want to try that, 8 p.m. Malaysia, Singapore time tonight, join the Zoom room, check out the links. It has been all sent to you. And then once you are there, we will do a little tutorial because it takes a little time, like a good video game, to understand what will happen in the metaverse, but we will teach you and we can try out this application together. So all the instructions are in your email boxes. If you are just jumping in, then you can get it from the summit calendar at the globalempowermenthub.com. And now here we are with Mr. Babaola. Let me see whether we can hear you. I will unmute you. Okay. Hello. Okay, did I do it right? We are pushing the button. Okay, I'll let you do it because we are doing it at the same time. Hi, how are you?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. It could be a bit better. So if you can speak very loud, that will be nice.
All right, is this better?
A little bit more. Just increase the volume if you can, or come closer, or let me see.
Okay, I guess I'll just come closer. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. I will ask the audience also whether it's perfect or it still needs a little bit of adjustment. So please, guys, if you cannot hear, just let me know. So welcome here at the Global Empowerment Summit. This is your first time and I'm happy to have you on board. This time Elijah was our recruiter from Africa and he brought so many amazing friends on board, and I'm so happy that you are here. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from? What are you doing? What's your calling? Until I change the banner.
All right, thank you. I hope you can still hear me clearly. I want to appreciate you for the opportunity to talk here. It's a good project you're doing. Well done. Yeah, so my name is Oluwaseyi Babalola, and that's a little bit of difficulty to pronounce if you are not Nigerian. Yeah, so I just go by the name Sheba. I am a freelancer. I work on Upwork. I work on Fiverr. I write also. I have about 14 published books on Amazon. I just do things that help people move a step forward, mostly people within my age group. Yeah, so that's just a little bit about me.
Thank you so much. So writing books, helping people, and you have a very specific topic today that I will bring up. But tell us also a little bit about yourself as a person, because I also always want to know also the person. So who are you? What are you like? What's your personality? Are you cheerful? Are you a thinking head? What is your personality look like?
All right, great. So well, I think I'm going to start from saying I love football a lot. Yeah, I'm a diehard Chelsea fan. Yeah, so that's one. I'm a Chelsea person. Yeah, and well, most times the mood of the room determines my mood. Yeah, so most times I am dependent. Yeah, but generally I am a cheerful person. I love to be around people. I love to socialize. And sometimes I just come into my shell, but just sometimes. 99% of the time, I am always outside, interacting with people, getting to know their problems, and crafting out solutions to those problems. In my leisure time, I see movies a whole lot. Yeah, I still saw a movie this morning. Yeah, so that's just about me.
Thank you so much. Thank you for sharing this and then getting to know you a little bit. It will help us also to, to connect with you better and to see how we can collaborate. So, what is the name that you would like to be called? Because I always think Seji Babs or Mr. Babaola. which one you prefer?
Shea Babs is fine.
Seji Babs. Okay, we will do that. All right. So, Seji Babs, tell us a little bit about your topic for today, which is the key to unleashing your best self.
All right. So, I have been this person who has moved in cycles a whole lot. From attending 3 colleges to attending 3 high schools. Yeah, from attending 3 high schools to attending 3 colleges, just looking for something. I was looking
you mean three?
for.
You mean 3?
Yeah. Not completely finishing. Jumping from one high school to the other, then to the last high school. Yeah, I started in an all civilian high school. Then I went on to a military secondary school. That's what we call it in Nigeria. So it's more like the high school abroad. Then I didn't finish up. I wasn't satisfied with what I was seeing, and then I moved back to the civilian high school, somewhat different. Then on getting to college, I attended a military college, and I wasn't feeling myself as well. Then I proceeded to another university and then to another university. So I was just looking for something. I was looking for satisfaction, and I wasn't finding it. But on getting to the last university, I think I found what I was looking for. So unleashing your best self is all about finding yourself. I think the key to personal growth is about finding yourself, what you like to do, what you think works best for you at the time it works best for you, how it works best for you. But if you do not find these things, you find yourself going around cycles. And for the past, say, 4 or 5 years, I've been experimented this myself. I have gone on to teach other people how to find themselves first before they can unleash their best self.
That's great. And how do you start? That's always my question. Every time when I find a mentor doing something like this or coaches, what's the first step that you do with your coaches, the people that you help? What do they need to do when they first meet you and, okay, they decide that I want to find my best self, I want to unleash it, but how do I start?
Okay, so I think it starts from the basic things. As a mentor, I see myself as a different kind of mentor because let me quickly give an analogy. We have this cat family. Yeah, we have the lion, we have the tiger, and then I tell coaches like myself that in trying to make someone become like yourself, make sure to put themselves, like their self, into consideration. So in trying to make someone become a tiger like yourself, make sure that that person's breed is not a lion, despite being in the cat family. Now, I think it just starts from the basic stuff. You know, I tell mentees to relax. You know, just relax, not be hard self. Just relax and try to look at the things you like to do when you do wake up. Try to look at the things you feel comfortable doing. Try to look at the things that you can go any length to do. So, but before we get into all of those complex things, I just tell them, just look around the daily activities you do. Just look at, try to find a, what do they call it, a routine. Try to find a pattern. Yeah, try to find a pattern. Try to find that pattern to see what you do like to do daily. And I think we take it up from there. There are many other complex things we do with them that helps them bring out their best self.
So it's good to see the comments coming up. So I see Sharmi saying it's good to sometimes get into your shell. So that's still for your sharing about watching movies being convenient. And then we have also another note. She's reconfirming what you said. Key to personal growth is to find yourself first. What works for you at the time. So stepping into this and starting very slowly. And then we have Andrea, who's saying it is great to see Nigerians to step into their growth. So much going on in the country. And I think I just see it like so much, like every time I talk to you, Elijah, all the people who came and joined this year, that I have never seen so many clever, beautiful, talented, academic people remembering all those quotes, doing all these things. So I'm so salute you guys. Keep on elevating others in your country so that you can also step into your own powers. I think that's beautiful journey. Thank you, Andrea, for mentioning it. So unleashing your best self. Okay, we are already knowing how to do it. We do small, simple steps. But how do we make sure that it sticks and it stays and it's not just a whim and it's not just coming and going?
All right. So I think on paper it's easier said than done. So it just seems like it is a really easy thing to do. You know, when you say you can wake me up by 4 a.m. to ghostwrite a book for you, and I'm not going to want to go back to my bed. Yeah, but it seems all too easy because it's now natural. But when I did start out, it wasn't as easy as that. Yeah, I think consistency is the key to maintaining what you have found. Yeah, you find your best self first, but you have to take consistent effort in making sure that it doesn't fizzle out. So I think the first thing you have to understand is that it's a difficult process from the beginning, because no matter how much you like to do something, no matter how much you love something, I think there are breakpoints. In science, we call it elastic limits. Yeah. So there are breakpoints. You get to your limits, and it seems like, oh man, this isn't working out again, and then you want to jump to the next thing. You know, I told you about how I went to 3 different high schools trying to find what wasn't lost. Yeah, what was deep inside of me. I proceeded to 3 colleges, and it just didn't work. So I think we need to understand that it's a painstaking process. It is something that has to take pain out of you, then shape you, and then you take consistent effort in making sure that even when it doesn't work for you, if this actually is what you have found, then you stick to it. You give it your all, despite the pain.
I love it. I love how you said the elastic part, because it's like that. Everything in life, it's not a strict thing that you see something very rigid. It's everything is formulating. It's flexible. It's improvised. It's elastic. It's something that is always changing, like we are changing. You have to keep this elasticity throughout our lives to be able to change. Otherwise, we are sticking, into one ways, and then it's really hard to change things. Thank you so much for elaborating on this and explaining it a little bit. And then Charm is saying, figuratively and literally, a painstaking process finding your path. Yes, exactly. That's how it is. So in your story, Sei, how was it? Who was the one inspiring you, or was there any person, or you just were like, okay, I have to do this? So it was coming from yourself. Who was your inspiration in your own journey?
All right. I think people around me were the inspiration. I wouldn't like to exactly pin it on someone, but first I think I have to give kudos to my dad. Yeah, he had a kind of similar pattern to finding himself, like myself. Yeah, my story is just like his when he was growing up as well. So, but the other motivation stemmed from the fact that I discovered that personally, a whole lot of journeys were tied to mine. I understood the fact that if I do not find myself, I wouldn't be able to help others find themselves. So each time I hit the wall and get back, I just remember that I have to go again, even if I have to hit the wall and get back again, because these guys are literally tied to me. And if I don't make a headway, they are never going to make a headway. And it's evident because after finding myself, I have helped many other people find themselves. So I had that understanding, and that sounds my motivation.
And I love that you said that. I don't want to say, to leave out anyone, so you don't say it, the exact names. So it's so nice to see that a lot of people around us, right? We all have to say that everyone around us can be a motivator or a teacher or someone who is giving to our journey. And this is so good if you are open to everyone around you. And of course, we need strong supporters, and the family is first. But you can find so many people that are helping your journey. On the last note, before we close, because I have to open the masterclass rooms, what would you say? What is the most important thing when you are trying to find your best self or building it? What is the one thing that people should do, no matter what, in this process?
Okay, there are a whole lot of important factors, recognizing your strength, recognizing your passion, going through pain, finding your purpose, a whole lot of things. But for me, I think the most important factor from all of this is the purpose. Yeah. When you do find your best self, you are able to explicitly know what you are supposed to do in life. Yeah. You then know your purpose. But then I teach people a kind of a rewind process. Like, discovering your purpose helps you find every other thing. It helps you understand that this pain I am going through is for this purpose to be accomplished. It helps you understand what exactly your passion is, because your passion would help you in times of pain. Yeah. And passion is I think gotten from a Latin word passive, meaning to suffer. Yeah. So it's going to help you understand that you can break. It's allowed. It's 100% permitted to break, but then you have to stick to this purpose. So I think in all of those 5 P's, I have 5 P's. Yeah, in helping finding yourself, factors to help find yourself. But I think recognizing your purpose is the topmost. Once you can recognize your purpose in life, then you can use that rewind process to find your best self.
Love it. Let it be the last sentence of this beautiful conversation. Thank you so much for coming on board and joining us at the Global Empowerment Summit. I will definitely reach out for more, and I'm happy to feature your articles and blog articles on the hub and feature you as a co-author. let's just work together and give your tips in the future also for us. And yeah, thank you so much, and I wish you a beautiful day. And now I will switch the studio to the Zoom room for the masterclass. Thank you so much, Sei Babs. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And thank you also, Sharm, and everyone else who is participating. We have the last comment from Sharm. Your purpose finds you everything else. Nice. Help you understand your passion. Exactly. Think about the peace and all these things. And passion will help you when you are suffering, and purpose will keep you in a drive. So thank you so much, and see you again. And now we are heading to the masterclass Zoom room. If you have a masterclass, then please join us. We will explore digital wealth with Michael and Wasim. Okay, let me play the video and see you very soon on the third weekend of the Global Empowerment Summit coming back. Very important topic, leadership all the way and community building next week here at the Global Empowerment Summit. Until then, you have a few days to rewatch the sessions, comment, and play with us. And you know that every Friday and Saturday we are updating our quiz. We are updating our quiz with new questions, so you can win at the end of the summit something very valuable, and we will announce the winners on the 27th of November. So see you guys, and see you in the masterclass.